Nikki recently released a song. It's called Hell Yeah. It's about American Idol. And she says, I'm quick to check a bitch if she is out of line. Are you the bitch she's singing about?
Don't know.
That was media legend Barbara Walters, who passed away recently at the age of 93. And she was a historical figure, especially when you consider what she managed to do in the media. She was the first ever female co-anchor of, honestly, any television broadcast news program. She was the first female co-anchor of an evening news program with ABC Evening News. And she later retired in 2015 after having an incredibly lengthy career. She was also the co-founder, co-producer, and co-host of The View. And I think retiring in 2015, she played it just right. You know, usually big public figures end their legacy in some sort of shame, right? Like something happens, they embarrass themselves publicly. Think of like the Rudy Giuliani's of the world. Like just know when to step back when it's time. And Barbara Walters certainly knew when to step back. And she interviewed all sorts of incredible, international leaders, politicians, celebrities, including Fidel Castro. She interviewed him twice, actually. Hugo Chavez, Vladimir Putin, Bashar al-Assad, and more. And she really was the person who inspired me to pursue journalism. I remember after watching TGIF on ABC every Friday, it was followed with ABC's 2020, and I wouldn't miss an episode. And I just remember thinking to myself, if I could just have a career like that where I get to talk to interesting people, ask interesting questions. And I grew up and realized we might have a few different values here and there. In fact, she was very close friends with Roger Ailes till the day he died, which is not something I expected to read about today. She also dated really just wonderful guys like Alan Greenspan, who's now married to Andrea Mitchell, and Roy Cohn. She dated Roy Cohn in college. But I do want to talk to you a little bit, Waz, about Barbara Walters. Are you familiar with her work?
Of course I am. I had actually reshared on my Instagram an interview that she did with Donald Sterling's mistress around that whole brouhaha. It was incredible. No less amazing than the Mariah Carey one that she just carried out. Obviously, she was just a part of my life growing up. You mentioned TGI Friday, 2020, all of the stuff. Like when I think of news, national news anchorship, I think about Barbara Walters. That's just a fact. So yeah, and what you just mentioned about her dating people like Alan Greenspan and Roy Cohn and being homies with Roger Ailes, that ain't nothing but class solidarity. That's
it's a good point. That's such a good point.
That's just people in the same class sticking together, having common interests and common aims and goals.
So gross. It's so gross. Jesus, it's so nasty. Anyway,
I mean, that's tough.
Roy Cohn is definitely tough. Alan Greenspan, notorious Treasury Secretary, just full-blown capitalist through and through. He's one of those guys. But Roger Ailes, we all know Roger Ailes was.
I was reading a study. I didn't read the study, but I was reading somebody's summation of a study, and apparently, and then you can confirm this for me, women are attracted to men who perceive to have high status and power. That's what I heard. I don't know. That's what I read.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. I really like hot guys. I don't
know. And it is just wired differently. Yes.
Yeah,
it's nice, but hotness.
The thing is, I'm an alpha, like my personality. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like, beta, alpha. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm an A-type personality. So a guy who's powerful actually like kind of turns me off because it turns into like no, I want this, no, I want that. I dated a guy for a long time who was also an A-type, and it just was not a good relationship. But anyway, enough about me. Let's go back to Barbara Walters. I was fascinated with her interviews with Fidel Castro. I didn't remember them. I mean, I watched a lot of her work growing up. So I went back to see if I could find her interview, at least one of them with Fidel Castro, and I did. It was fascinating stuff. It seems like Fidel had like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Yeah, game.
Like he was into her.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's a well-documented part of his story and persona, that he was a bit of a ladies' man and was pretty charismatic, in that like a lot of the Western journalists, particularly the women who, worked with him as far as talking to him and getting interviews, found him to be pretty charming and charismatic.
Well, let's hear him be charming about potential nuclear war with the United States.
President Castro showed me documents that are being newly released this week at a conference to mark the 40th anniversary of the missile crisis. Is it the case that you wrote to Premier Khrushchev saying that if the United States did invade Cuba, the response should be a Soviet first strike, that is a nuclear strike against the US? Were we that close to nuclear war?
Yes, we were very close to the nuclear war, extremely close. Yes, I said to Khrushchev, there is going to be an attack. In that case, do not give your adversary the possibility of a first strike that catches you off guard. Later, there was a great controversy because he misinterpreted my words. He said that I had said to him to deal a first strike, a preemptive strike to begin a war. And I never said that. I only said not to give Americans the chance to strike first.
I gotta be honest, I don't really know what the distinction is. I could definitely understand how someone could maybe misinterpret what he's saying, because I, again, don't really know what the distinction was there. But I just wanted to give you a little taste of that interview. And she did so many others. If I remember correctly, one interview that she did that I did not like was with Monica Lewinsky. She was not nice, to say the least. But in that era, no one was nice to Monica Lewinsky, and it was pretty gross. So anyway,
we were so mean to side pieces back then. It makes no sense.
Don't say that. Come on.
We were not nice to them. We give them country and quarter now, rightfully so. It's only right, and we rightfully ridicule the people that took the vows. I mean, it's only right that we do so, and we let the side pieces just live in peace. Please, please leave the side pieces alone.
And maybe stop calling them side pieces. Maybe that.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.